Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Yes, you know, if I'm here before 3:30, that means I was in a hurry. That means I knew what I wanted to talk about, and I got out here to make this video in a hurry. And that's the truth. I want to talk about back and forth between Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and this upcoming fight. I haven't talked about this fight. You guys know I don't like MMA, and so I just haven't talked about it at all. But I've seen this back and forth, and I'm going to read everything that this little back and forth between them just in the last couple of days. I'll have the links down below so you can read it yourselves and you can read the comments. And I got a definite gut instinct. I think we all have an innate sense of when somebody, you know, they're a gut feeling towards somebody. If somebody's being dishonest, if somebody's being insecure, I mean, deep down I think we all have that innate sense. And a lot of times, if we don't, that first impression, and if we don't go with that, a lot of times our common sense or our likes and dislikes, we override it, which is a mistake. But I want to talk about this back and forth because it deals with. I haven't talked a lot about MMA, and Elon Musk started this whole thing about a fight, an MMA fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. And you guys know MMA. I don't have anything good to say about it, so I haven't said anything about this fight. But like I said, I could read a lot into what they're both saying here. And I'm going to read you what this back and forth. And let me just do that first. Okay, this all started when Zuckerberg came up. Well, I'm sure there was no love lost between the two, but when Zuckerberg came up with Threads, the new media, he saw Twitter sinking at the control of Elon Musk, and he thought it was a good time to go in for the kill, and he started his own kind of replacement for Twitter. I'm not going to say copy. Replacement for Twitter, the Threads. And I have a Threads account, so I'll put that down below so you guys could follow me or I could follow you. You can tell I'm a 57-year-old dude out of touch. All right, let me read the back and forth, and I'm going to give you my take on this. I don't have a lot of experience. I don't have any experience with MMA, but I do have a lot of experience, and I'm not bragging. You guys who watch my channel know I'm not bragging when I say this. But I've got a lot of experience with dishonesty, manipulation, and street fighting, and fights in bars and streets. I've never fought MMA, I've never fought in a ring, but I've fought over 100 times in the streets or in bars. And I'm going to talk more about that because there's a viewer that doubted my numbers, and I want to talk about that. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, let me get this back and forth. Like, I think Musk, first he wanted to sue Zuckerberg, I think, because he thought he was, that Zuckerberg was copying him. Then he challenged Zuckerberg to an actual dick measuring contest, which is all junior high, very junior high school of him. And then he challenged Zuckerberg to a fight. And listen, you were talking about two of the richest men on earth, what, in their 30s, their 40s? It sounds like I'm talking about a couple junior high school kids here, mostly Elon Musk. Anyway, okay, so there's been this back and forth. I think it started just in the last couple of days, and it started with Elon Musk. And I think it did. Here's something from Elon Musk. He says, I am lifting weights throughout the day preparing for the fight. I don't have time to work out, so I just bring them to work. Now, my take on that, you guys, I get up and my workout's the most important thing because it builds energy for the day. This person is telling me that he's not serious. Elon Musk is telling me that he's not serious about this fight. He was basically talking out his ass. That's what this tells me right here. He brings his weights to work, and I picture him at a desk with like a 5-pound weight going like this. No, like you look at Mark Wahlberg or The Rock, they have the same kind of, well, I mean, they're a lot more successful than I am, but they have the exact same workout schedule I do. I get up at early 2-3 in the morning, and I pray, and then I do the video here, and I'm working out. I actually work out 4 hours a day every day. I'm done with my workout by about 8 or 9 a.m. and I start about 4 or 5 after I finish this video. And that's the most important part of my day. It gets the blood flowing, it gets my thinking going, it gets me set, it gets me confidence for the day. If you're not making time for a workout like Elon Musk, then you're just another slob, really. And you shouldn't be challenging other people to a fight. That's one thing. All right. So Zuckerberg said, "I am ready today. I suggested August 26th when first challenged, but he hasn't confirmed. Not holding my breath." Now there's somebody that's confident. Let's go. Let's do this. That's. I'll get more into my thought on this more in a second about talking smack and being confident. That's somebody that's confident. I'm ready whenever you are. Let's do this. That says it all right there. It's not bragging. It's just you challenge me. Let's do it. Okay. Now this is the tweet that really got me. The links will all be down below for this, both from Threads and from Twitter, so you could read these all. Okay, and the comments, because the comments are always, on Twitter, it's all suck ups. I know you're gonna win, Elon. And then, they make fun of Zuckerberg. It's just a bunch of suck ups on Twitter. Okay, so Musk, in the last day, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, this is what he tweeted, and it's an excuse. If the fight is short, I'll probably win. Probably. Okay? If long, he may win on endurance. I am much bigger, and there's a reason MMA has weight divisions. Okay, let me read into this. You never tell your opponent anytime. You never show anybody your lack of self-confidence, especially in a fight. I'll talk more about that in a second. There's words here. He's basically pulling a Trump. If I lose, it's because the fight was because the election was rigged. He's doubting himself. You never ever do this. And you have to believe in yourself. You believe that no matter, regardless of the size or the endurance or anything of the other person, that you are going to wipe him off the earth. You are going to eat him alive. You are going to devour him. And you believe that. Okay. And then after the fight, I'm going to talk about that too. You're a gentleman, and you admit if you lost, you admit it and shake hands and go out and have a beer. That's what I used to do when I used to drink. I don't drink anymore. Okay, and then this part here. I am bigger, and there's a reason MMA has a weight division. Now this sounds like me saying now he's saying like he's still doubting himself. So he's trying to make up reasons, why I can't, I'm going to wipe you off the earth, because I'm big, I'm much bigger, and maybe we should call this off. This is the reason MMA, he's backing out. He's being a wuss. That's when I read this, I was like, he already lost the fight. In his mind, Musk already lost the fight. Okay, why do I think this? And if you know me, I'm not bragging here. I've told you guys I've been well over 100 fights. And I think a lot of times I felt even worse when I won. I never got any joy out of seeing somebody on the ground a mess, bleeding, and myself. And it's another thing too. It's not like on TV. It's not like in the movies. Even if you win, man, your knuckles, you have broken phalanges or whatever they're called, knuckles. You're swollen. Your lungs are on fire. Your adrenaline is through the roof. And then seeing hurting somebody else, it was never my thing. And now that I've been in recovery, I've talked about this too. And the reason I talk about it is for other people that are going through the same thing. When you get clean, it's amazing how all of your emotions, because it's really obvious at that point that you've been numbing yourself, and all of a sudden the emotions come back in the first week. And I remember crying. I'd watch TV commercials and I'd just start bawling at ridiculous commercials, like with kittens or laundry detergent, or seriously. And that's all faded, except the anger. I've always held in a lot of anger from stuff that happened to me when I was younger. I was quiet when I was younger, and I was picked on, and then I grew a lot taller, a lot more fit. And the people that used to pick on me just pretended like it didn't happen, and it just enraged me. And I still have this problem with controlling my temper, and it is a problem. There's no good side to just walk away. And I still have a hard time doing that. Okay, let me talk about the number thing, because one of the commenters said something about the numbers that I came up with, 100 fights. He's like, you're full of it. Okay, I used and drank for 25 years, 2.5 decades, something I'm not proud of at all. I was in the bar easily at least half the time, every week at least. This is conservative. I was out on the streets, running the streets till 3, 4, till sun up, buying, driving, dealing, wheeling, or in a bar. And this is, and more, if you know anything about that life, there's going to be disagreements and altercations on a regular basis. All right, so say I'm just doing that 4 times a week, which is unrealistic. It was more like 6 times a week. I probably was just so beat on one day, or just so in withdrawals that I couldn't go out. But we'll say four times a week. How many weeks in a year? 52 weeks a year. 4 times 52. That's 200. 200 times in a year, right? 4 times a week times 52. We'll say 50. 200 times a year. I'm going out to bars and streets. And then times 25 is, I think we're talking like 5,000 nights in all that I'm out on the streets or in the bars. All right, so I used the number 100. If you figure this out, it's actually, it's like one out of 50. I don't know, but it's even lower, or it's even higher than 100. So 100 is a conservative estimate. If you figure, that I was out living this life for 25 years on an average of 4 nights a week. Here, you guys do the math. I still haven't had my coffee yet. I had figured this out before and I can't remember it now. Anyway, I think I made my point. 100 is a low number, and I'm not bragging. I talk about this because I'm not proud of it. On something I'm trying to change in my life. And you never go into a scrap doubting yourself. You never go into anything doubting yourself. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. Every morning when I pray, I do self-affirmation. And I've talked about, I'm going to sell paintings today. I'm a confident person. I've talked about this YouTube channel. I've said like over and over. I usually say these things 7 times. I don't know why. I am a talented and successful YouTuber. Thousands of people watch my videos. And I wasn't going to tell you guys that, but I say that. You have to believe in yourself. I think a tweet is actually, if you really think about it, it's somebody's thoughts just transferred right into text. It's what somebody's thinking in their head, and they go do on the keyboard, and it's their thoughts. It's their mental talk, their self-talk just transferred. It's very telling when you think about it. Just transferred into text. And if I read this, he's already lost the fight. Like I said, with me, you go into it believing in yourself. And I used to think, if I go down, I'm going to give the other person hell on the way down. As a matter of fact, one of the very first fights I ever got into when I moved into the rough neighborhood, when I told you guys after my father died, we had to move to the bad side of the tracks. And I used to go ice skating in a pond. I was probably about 15 years old. And I was walking up on my ice skates, and there was a guy that would pick on me whenever he would see me. He was like 3, 4 years older, bigger, and he wanted my ice skates. He's like, "Give me your ice skates." And I was like, "No." I think I said to him, I said, "You might beat me, but." I forgot what I said to him. I said, "You're gonna have to kill him." Oh, that's what I said. "You're gonna have to kill me to take these ice skates." And he ended up backing down. He actually ended up backing down. That's probably one of the only times I even showed any doubt in myself, and I never did that again. And then this has always been the thing, like whenever I've gotten these altercations, like I said, it's been a long time. I've been clean and sober for 17 years, and like I said, I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm saying it was a bad point, a bad part of my personality. And after the fight, if I lost, I'd admit I lost, shake hands, and we'd usually sit down and have a beer. And I usually became friends with the person I lost to. And it's resolved, and that's it. You walk away. I remember this one. I'm going to tell you guys this one time. I was in the bar, and there's about a group of brothers, 4 or 5 brothers. They were all tall, very tall. They had a French-Canadian last name like me. And they played hockey, and they were tough, and one of the older brothers was in the bar, and he was getting in fights constantly, and he started talking smack to one of my friends, getting in his face, and this guy was about 6'6", because I was 6'4", and I had been drinking, and I wasn't thinking, I wasn't considering all the possibilities, and I walked up, I put my nose in the middle of their business, which was another stupid thing I shouldn't have done. And I said, if you mess with my buddy, you mess, and I didn't even finish that sentence. And he just unleashed a volley of just left, right, just bam, bam, bam. He hit me at least 5 or 6 times really quick before I could cover. All I could do was duck and cover. I couldn't even throw any punches back. And like I said, it's not the movies. When you get hit like that, I mean, you welt up fast, even if you just get hit in the head. You know, and I just went down like a sack, man, you know. And I saw him in the bar like after that. And he comes right up to me and he's like, you want to go again? And I was like, no, dude, no. You know, and I just, you know, then we sat down and I was like, no, you won. I shouldn't have stuck my nose in the middle of it to begin with. And we sat down and we had a beer. And I heard the story. I actually felt bad for this guy because he told me his father was an alcoholic and he beat on all the brothers and put them against each other. And this guy gets in fights like at every bar, every night he goes out. And it's his thing with, you know, you could see the sadness in his, you could hear the sadness in his voice and see it in him as I sat down and talked to him, you know, about, you know, his father and this need to fight, you know, and he's getting arrested and going court cases. And, you know, and as I listened to him talk, I just had sympathy and empathy for him that I was thankful that I didn't have to go through that. But we ended up being friends. And, I learned not to stick myself, you know, and I didn't think about the possibilities when I went into this. You know, I stuck my nose where it didn't belong, and I wasn't prepared for it all, you know, because sometimes in a street fight or anything, you know, you have to be prepared for the things that you don't expect. Anyway, what I see here is somebody that's lost the fight in their head already. Altercations aren't worth it. Fighting is not cool. It's not like the movies. It's not like TV. It takes a bigger man. Believe me, it takes a much bigger man to be confident and walk away from it if he can. If doable. All right. I got another video all set and ready to go, and it's freaky. It's about Naked and Alone, the TV show, and they have a clip with the guys getting ticks on their privates, and it made me think of one of the worst things that happened to me. Yes, I broke my man bone. I didn't know what else to call it. I gotta watch what I say on here, and that's the next video, man. And you gotta have a strong stomach for this one. All right, have a good Monday.